right corner of the map. Our blue Terran player is ByuN. And in the bottom left, our red Protoss is going to be Classic. As we get into game number 1 of this best of 5 series in the semi-finals, we get this underway. Trying to boost on the Nexus as we get up and running then, so we'll get things underway. I'm just going to be seeing where everyone is going to go for a little bit of Terran versus Protoss. Yeah, we had some PvPs, there've been some fun ones, but man, it's nice to have some non-match action. And I gotta say, I've got to cheer on ByuN a little bit, because I kind of want the TvP final. I'll be a little bit biased, I want the TvP final. We've had a lot of PvPs in this playoffs. I would much prefer a TvP final, but if we don't get it, that's okay. That's okay. We're going to be seeing a Reaper coming through. Just going to be seeing our Command Center coming in. Cybercore coming up. Nexus building. Get that up and running. We've seen our Reaper coming about, Adept moving around. We're going to take some shots against CC's coming up, Twilight Council coming in. Obviously, our expansions down quickly. Post-Youth, this in-base expansion should be very easy to take and very easy to defend. Step just going through once again. Trying to get a little bit extra on the way. And Reaper is going to get chased back by the Adept. It's going to get pushed back over this direction. And that Reaper will go down. Adept going to continue to fire up onto the depot. Blink is starting. We get ourselves a Warp Gate, Robo Facility, and a Gateway coming up as well. So we continue to bring this all through. The single Adept still whacking away at this depot, but will not shouldn't really ever get in, obviously, and an SCV can pull to repair this, so just some free damage. It's still an SCV off the line, right? So that is nice. Yo, Dcash, how you doing, man? Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs to 8210, Sventilator, Zyanic, I'm Uncreative, and V-Winter Mule. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs and your own Prime for the 15 months as well. Thank you so much for the generosity, mate. Get some love in the chat for Dcash11B dropping the love down. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really, really appreciate it. As our Adept continues to patrol, we have an orbital off over to the side. And this game's still in that setup phase. 2 more gases from ByuN, but already playing off of the triple CC. Just makes sense as you get set into the next stage of the game to now get that gas up and running. Yeah, thank you so much for the subs, mate. I do appreciate it. We are trying to get towards the point at which we are kind of able to hit 500 subs again, so any support in that regard really is amazing right now, so thank you so much. There's a few Stalkers just gonna fire up. Depot gonna take some damage. Dep's still trying to chase forward, trying to find something else we can make happen. Don't got too much done just yet, though. Stalker still pinging. The orbital will take a few shots also. Yeah, a little bit of bio going to fight back, and that's actually really nice killing the Stalker. Oh, for a moment, that second Stalker is going to go down too, but it does live. Coming back across, going to reposition a little bit. Now still pressing forwards. Coming through towards the front here. Now Bio in position, just going to fight a little bit. Just going to be seeing the Bio Force. Definitely scary, but you know, with a couple of good force fields here, the defense becomes pretty attainable by Classic. I love this move from ByuN, though. The jump up into the main is actually going to lose the units in the front, but that's where Classic decides to dive. It means that the attack in the main base is likely going to succeed. There goes the Robo. There goes the Pylon. We recall into the main base. We should be able to lift up and get out, but we're going to target fire down the Stalkers first, so the Medivacs cannot be targeted down afterwards. And that actually works out beautifully. Wow. Well, that's going to be ByuN honestly doing pretty well. Like I said, the Robo going down. He did lose the units on the front, so this wasn't free damage. If he kept the units on the front alive, I could have really believed that this would have been incredible, but that's the only thing I will say. Bio getting chased back again. Protoss Army still continuing to chase through from Classic. And as we come back and forth, ByuN trying to put pressure back on the other side. It's going to be seeing those Zerg sentries coming about as well. Another force field getting put into place to try and keep everything back here currently. We do have +2 attack and extended thermal lance on the way from our Protoss players. So bringing those upgrades into play as well. Continue to get those brought out here. For the moment as our Bio going to kite backwards. Wooden Mines get burrowed. Zelds are going to go boom. I mean, they were just all stacked up together, and that splash is going to add up massively as ByuN powers forwards. And he is looking amazing here for game number 1. And he is looking as though he's going to steamroll through for the moment. Now, ByuN has had a lot of moments like this lately where sometimes he just stops, gives the Protoss enough time to kind of get back in it, and the game does not quite end when you kind of expect it to. So I'm going to hold off on my excitement of ByuN pushing across the map. In this case, he might just push and go and kill Classic. I think Classic needs at least another Zealot Warp in here to survive. Oh, Colossus shows up, but the Bio can split apart, and part of it can just go and deal with that Colossus. A few Marauders get up that ramp, Colossus goes down. This is looking pretty darn good as ByuN will reinforce across the map as well. So you will have consistent additional units to deal with this, and you will end the game. GG's for ByuN to take game 1 of the series. And with brand new team maps as well from the Team Liquid map contest. Very exciting. Bottom right hand side, our blue Terran player is able to take the 1-0 lead in this best of 5. This is the Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. In the top left-hand side, our red Protoss. It is going to be Classic. And yo, Alucard, thank you so much for the 100 bits to kick off the hype train. Good to see the hype train ding across the top of the screen for the first time in a while. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Game number 2 in Classic really just ran into trouble with that push of ByuN. Dropping the main base, I think, threw him for a loop, and then just was not able to really solidify his army before the rest of ByuN came shoving across the map there on post-youth. Oceanborn for this second game. Let's see where it goes. There's Marsman89 coming in with the Prime sub as well. Thank you so much as well. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the stream, the tournament, and obviously all the players that are taking part in our event as well. This was a $2,500 event over the last 3 weeks, guys. Like I say, once eSports World Cup wraps up, we've got some good fun plans as well. At the end of August, we'd love to do a little bit of a small WardiTV Summer Championship. And then September, October. I mean, as long as there's days free, and with World Team League going to playoffs, we should hopefully have some weekends free again, so we can actually do some stuff on weekends. Right now, weekends are just completely dominated by WTL, so it's very difficult to do much. But we are trying. I promise you guys that much. Swift Grain gonna kick the hype train over to level 2. With the 4-month resub on the Prime. Thank you so much. Iris a Fakis says thanks for supporting our favorite game here, Wardy, with the 40-month resub. I'm just going to double check it, but I'm pretty sure that was Razor TL. Yes, it was, my man. How you doing? Thank you so much for the £5 donation in amongst that as well. Thank you so much for the generosity, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to the salad and responding to the salad a little bit as whoa, that's a Twilight Council position. Surely that creates some issues for you. It's a little close to the ramp, no? Like, there's definitely a world where it could create issues of you going up and down the ramp with that, I feel like, but... Okay. Yo, Lex, thank you so much as well, coming in for the 28-month resub on the Prime as well. Thank you so much. Really freaking appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And Devolution 79. Well, we have 2 Marauders here. I'm going to clean up the first Dev. The Marauder opening with concussive shells means that any unit that comes forwards like that will get caught and can't really retreat away. So that's a big moment indeed. And now ByuN gets to take these 2 Marauders across the map to try and find some damage. There's one more Adept that'll go diving by. Let me just catch up again as Devolution. Wow, actually coming in for 6 months in advance. In advance on the subscription. Thank you so much. And Zergberger gifting 2 subs out as well. Got some love in the chat for Zergberger, dropping the subs to Perpetual, Casual, and Wimp's Work. Marauders across the map shall not do too much against the battery. It's actually kind of safe for them to be here because the Stalker can't chase, because if it chases, it's not in battery range. If it's not in battery range, the Marauders win that fight. So that becomes a very convincing fight for ByuN, and that's why you're able to wander across the map and guarantee that they build a defensive battery early. That's why this Marauder build can see so much success and actually be so consistent as well. So there's a lot of benefits to that as the Widowmine goes off, the Adept goes down. Hey, Winter, how you doing, mate? Thanks so much for the 8-month resub. TvP, hype! Hype indeed. And ByuN up 1-0. Potential to make it TvP finals. I love Classic, where both these guys actually were Stasis Wardies back in the Classic Civil War. I mean, I love Classic too, and 9 times out of 10 I'm cheering on Classic in a lot of tournaments, but obviously I'm being a little bit greedy. I want a TvP finals today instead of another PvP, so I'm a little bit biased to see, happily seeing that ByuN is up a game. There's a long way still to go. 2 Widowmines in the Medivac go pushing out towards the top side, so they're going to move straight on up toward the top. Just going to go straight up over in this direction again. Prism and the Blink coming up as well. Pylon and a couple probes coming out. Barracks, Engineering Bay, and Bunker also in production for the moment. Getting that underway. Next coming through, Observer coming up. Stimpack, +1, being brought in as well as those few Stalkers going to get there, get a little grab. Widowmines are going to get burrowed up in this mineral line. Kaboom, kaboom. No, actually going to lift them up and not let them... Kind of surprised he doesn't let them fire. I guess maybe he knows these Stalkers are over here, in which case maybe it makes sense. Going to lose the bunker quickly. Stimpack is ready. I don't love the stim right now if you stim, and I think it's very smart that ByuN didn't stim right away. Because I almost wanted to see him blink again before he stimmed. He stimmed in the end, but actually is now going to close the distance and get quite a few of these Stalkers. Good Prism Micro with Blink on cooldown. Prism is the one way to still save those Stalkers as they get low. That is very nicely done. But mine's going to burrow here, and this time Classic! Oh, does not pull the right probe away, so that's going to be 4 probes down the drain. I wouldn't mind coming back through and getting nicely done, as we have a bunker in the front that's in some trouble. Our Bio will stim up. Stalker's getting pushed back. Another Bio, a little chunk of units coming through there. Stalker goes down. The SCVs are chasing. Stalker still being pushed away. +1 attack and combat shields both building up during this as well. One more Stalkers continue to come out. A couple of probies. 3 probies actually coming up on the side of Classic as our Bio will continue to fight here. Stalker's taking a few more shots. The SCVs and Mules are going to pull. Obviously, those Mules shouldn't really be there. That's just a panic moment from ByuN, who just needs as much as possible to survive against this. Still doing work with the Widowmine. Widowmine's helping out massively. Without that, ByuN would have been in a much worse position pulling these probes so, SCVs so consistently. With the Widowmines, it's a little bit more affordable, though still not ideal, and maybe just didn't need to chase that far. I don't think you ever need to be that far forward, right? Not ideal at all. And thank you everyone that hyped up the hype train. Appreciate all the subs and stuff on that little bit of a train. Thanks so much, guys. Stalkers in the main base, SCVs pull again. This is where you need to pull the SCVs, right? This is the moment where it makes perfect sense to. 18 workers went down, like I said, because we've done some damage with that Widowmine drop. We can kind of allow that to have happened. This is now a 10-worker deficit for ByuN, but with double Mule, it's not the end of the world. Now, obviously, he's not on like a super fast third base or anything, but as long as he can start stabilizing here, problem is he has to keep pulling in SCVs. Yeah, I think Classic is definitely getting a little bit too much done right now. As ByuN will get a few Stalkers here. Micro is lacking compared to before. 30 workers going down. There's Widowmine left as the Stalkers get warped in. The medevac is low. It's going to go down. ByuN just got a little bit adventurous, leaving that around for a moment. Starport moving back over to the side. Marines, Marauders, the medevac, the reactor coming about as well. A couple of gates and a forge also coming up on the side of Classic, so we bring that through. Marines get there. The Observer gets denied. Bio chasing. Just pushing those Stalkers away still. Stalkers continue to step back out in the center. We're going to get another Stalker picked off. Well, for all the damage taken, ByuN has this army to try and do something with, and he really needs to do something with it. I mean, 20 worker deficit is obviously not great. I'm almost surprised we're not pulling SCVs, although he's adding on 2 more barracks, so ByuN might just be trying to survive on this 2-base eco for a little longer and then just full sending it. I just don't know if we even have time to really get to the point where the 2 extra barracks are going to make a difference, right? Not sure if that's really going to be a factor at all. File's still there, the Stalker's getting turned around. And the Vex load up, gonna pull all the way out to the left. Five Medivacs on that far left-hand side, getting ready for pop into the natural expansion here in a moment or so. The Medivacs will come through, Bio will begin to unload. That one's getting picked away at. Zelda's gonna start slowly moving forward. Stalkers blink, as we will see. The probes continue to pull into this. That's a lot of probes going down. Not a bad start from ByuN. He cannot afford to lose too much, is the problem. He kind of needs to keep up momentum because this is a 2-base from him. He is going to be able to deal with the Prism quite nicely. Zealot's going to be forced to lift back up straight away, so and he's got a couple of Vikings to actually play cleanup on that, which would be huge. That would be very nice. Marines chase. Prism is forced all the way back through the bottom side. He's just going to come through. He's going to be seeing that Prism taking a few more shots. Trying to decide where I should go, but the answer is I should have gone somewhere because the Vikings were there and the Prism goes down. If there's ever a time for ByuN to get active with the army, this is pretty much it, right? Prism's gone. It's time to move. I mean, the first Colossus is on its way. Actually, sorry, it's the second Colossus on its way, so we do have some splash available. ByuN still has the medevacs on the left that are being spotted, I believe, by a hallucination over there, so... Oh, as ByuN was not paying attention for a second, the hallucination actually started to push the medevac towards the natural. Cute move. Vikings land, but we might actually want them in the sky to help against the Colossus if ByuN sees that. Here are the SCVs showing up. Already a big stim from ByuN. Needs to be careful. Like I say, this triple medevac needs to figure out where it wants to be as well. Maybe run up from the left side, up that ramp, and kind of come in for this army from the other side. SCVs are going to be there. ByuN has unloaded. It's time for him to just send this. Super battery is activated. Classic is bringing everything he can. Here's the rest of ByuN's forces coming through. Obviously, will fight a bunch of Stalkers. The Zealot's not active on the left side, but man, those Colossus are able to stay far enough away. They're just doing so much damage through this. And ByuN is running out of supply as Classic will tie up the series on Oceanborn And we are going to a game 3 of this best of 5 with it all tied up. Top right-hand side. The Red Protoss player tying it up. It is going to be Classic in the top right-hand corner. Representing Twisted Minds, of course. Excited to see him at the eSports World Cup very soon. As in the bottom left, we have the Blue Terran player, ByuN. Alright then, off and away into our next game of TvP and seeing whether it's going to be all about Classic or all about ByuN. Winner of this takes the lead in the series. Big setup, of course, if we get there. See our probe moving through the center, coming past that watchtower. Just for a moment or two. And that cybercore coming out. The barracks is still coming in. Having ourselves a Nexus in the cybercore pylon as well. Continuing to come about here for the moment. It continues through. Orbital coming up in a second. Have I seen the WTL matchups? No, but I can have a peek while this early game gets going. Let me have a peek. We're working on it. Getting that. WTL. Battlebee, Moreno, Mixed Use, Sterile, Showtime Going Through, fun. Kaza, Youth, Thermal, Young Yakov, Firefly, Goblin Hero Marine, also fun. Classic Zion, Nice Lemon, Stats Strange, Spirit Oliveira, Garrett Hero, Max Fatieshi, all the mirrors in that one, that's sad. Starlight Twinkle, Wayne ByuN, Christiana Horston, Cham Scarlet. Also fun, but also a lot of mirrors, man. Clamor Young, Skillis, Maru, and QS Solar. Thought you could go any which way. Such a fun match as well for Liquid Vitality. Kind of cool, nothing super amazing though, I'd say. I feel like a couple of those matchups could have been way better with less mirror matches, but such is the way of the world as ByuN completely switches it up with the opening here of 4 Cyclones. They're going to go very Cyclone heavy this time around, switch it up completely. Cyclone's taking that watchtower for a moment or so. The depth shows up, a couple Cyclones pop out. And the 2 Cyclones at the front going to lock on. The gateway is going to be on the way in as well. We cancel 1 gate. Stalker going to be taking a few more shots. So the Stalker still chasing. Cyclone goes down. That Cyclone very nearly getting the Stalker there. Not quite in the end though, fortunately. Barracks, Bunker, both coming up. A couple Cyclones going to get to the center, gather up on that watchtower. See, the Cyclone's just going to pull away in the end. It's just going to start falling back. Blink about to finish. Prism is about to be done. Our gateway coming up as well as we get all of that online. Yeah, 4 Stalkers coming up as Classic gets the pressure ready to go. These Cyclones just hanging. As here come the Stalkers starting to make their move out the other direction. So this is going to walk straight into the natural. Try and get on top of the tank. SCV repair. I thought it was going to save it for another volley. But there was a good few shots coming off, and that bunker will live. That was actually not pretty for Classic. He loses quite a few Stalkers here. 4 Stalkers going down. A couple of Cyclones still adding damage on as well. And just having ourselves the tank on the high ground really able to add a lot to that also. Really did a lot for us in that one. So that was a big dub as our Stalkers get ready to hop in toward the main. And again, great to save the bunker as well, because that keeps the main the natural really solid defensively. And that's going to make it much harder for Classic to do many more kind of larger pushes, as we will see the escape away here. You can see how hurt those Stalkers are as well, so that's also just a factor. But those Stalkers are so hurt already. 4 more Stalkers warping in. This is going to jump through. ByuN's going to fight. SCVs are going to pull forward as well. SCVs going down. Cyclones just pulling that pod. Even still, right? Usually you think of a Cyclone as a super early game unit, but kind of getting through that as a few more Stalkers warp in. Stalkers will get the bunker now on the low ground, but we are approaching +1. We are approaching Stim. This Bioforce is going to get better than ever. Cyclone firing up a few more shots. Prism is going to get pulled back out to the front again, so it's going to come back over here. Prism will unload and a few SCVs begin to go down. Bioforce coming across. And we'll see our Stalkers getting nipped away at. Charge about to finish up. +1 attack. Extended thermal lance, gates, and probes. All continuing by for the moment. Our Bioforce still sitting in the front as our Observer heads forward as well. It was the classic 3 bases and still keeping pressure up is one of the main things. The fact that ByuN is being held back. But Bio upgrades now being finished. Now is probably one of the best times that ByuN has had to get onto the map. He actually powers into barracks 4 and 5. He's going to try and move his 3rd onto location. Prism will recall away, so actually no prism pressure anymore. At least not from the back of the main base. Might come back across and set up to go on a different angle as Classic tries to establish base 4 during the rest of this. The Marines come through. The Observer gets taken out. Stalker's still moving over. Bio continues out through the center. A little bit of that Bio already stimming out to the left-hand side as well. Going to come straight through there. And some Stalkers taking some damage. Bio's going to get 1 Stalker. Again, extended thermal lance coming through. +1 attack coming up. Tank will siege in the middle. Missiles coming through, a couple of those mules dropping down. I see more mules getting chased about. The Bio continue to come through. The Zealots jump back into the Prism right here. Bioforce coming across. Prism will die. Well, that now means you can focus across the map. 1-1. I guess it's going to be against +1 though, so not 0-0 for Classic. So there is going to be some upgrades for him to just help try and trade against this a little bit better. Is SCVing up that 3rd CC, so he is getting that ready to mine. He's going to do it on the back of this attack, which may not even be a committed attack. He may just move out and try and take some map control. Classic's been all about that map control so far, so maybe it's time we switch that up. Robo, Nexus, Prism, +2, +1, all continuing to come about as well. We've seen a hallucination gets taken out again. So it's coming over, just going to be seeing the command center, taking some shots. ByuN kind of chasing through, another Zealot going down. One Zealot to the left being chased as well. You see Classic actually coming in from all angles. This ByuN army is melting away. He does get reinforcements, some from the left and some from the bottom side. He's dealing with the Zealots pretty nicely. Should be able to get on top of that Disruptor. No, not fast enough. It does go off. Disruptor shot is big in helping this as the medevacs are a lot of the supply now for ByuN, but he doesn't have the bio to necessarily support them. It's going to be a problem as the rest of the Colossus continue to come through. Next, the Stalker's warping in, orbital command getting pushed about. So the Stalker's still pushing through, rest of the Bioton back around. Two upgrades. Gonna get finished up here. 4 more Vikings coming in. The Marauder's still coming about. But it's Classic that's taking control of this game. So Stalker's Colossus gonna go through the rocks, continue to take damage. The Vikings are there. Prism gets pulled back. He's going to fight. Vikings going to shoot. We're going to see the Colossus. Starting to get shot down. Vikings putting in some work, but there's not enough of them to just do that forever, right? The Stalker should be able to start clearing up. Second Colossus dies kind of quick, though. Third Colossus will go down as well. Now Stalker's finally maybe able to start doing something more about this as these Zealots are going to charge into that Bio Force. We've got 1 Colossus alive in that Prism. ByuN is bringing it back a little bit with this fight. It's been pretty good for him. Zealots going to start coming through. Vikings going to try and get the Prism, but the Zealots will get their warp in off, and the Vikings will get the Prism with their final shot. However, I think that warp in of Zealots might have just been about enough to break forwards here. We don't have much splash damage remaining. In fact, we only have 1 Disruptor that's on cooldown, but Classic is now target firing down medevacs to the Stalkers. Just got to make sure you don't go too far. And the Bio only takes 1 or 2 losses off the Disruptor, which keeps this kind of in the game. Gonna see +3 attack coming about. I do have extra Zealots coming through. Just a shot firing forward. Who else is going to be popping out? We are going to be seeing the set of rocks going down as well. Stalker's pulling forwards, a couple of medevacs getting shot down. We are going to be seeing this Zealot force continue to come through. Continue that push. Bio has to get out of there, just pulling away for the moment here. Prism still coming by, a couple more SCVs coming down. Bio going to stim again. I'm just going to say GG. Can't keep up with these fights. He had a good kind of, couple of turns of events, but wasn't enough as Classic map. Our red Protoss player. This is Classic. Up 2-1 in the best of 5. Looking to make it a very PvP dominated day with PvP finals as well if you can win this game. See if you can do that up against ByuN from the Shopify Rebellion in the top left. Blue, Terran, a non-Protoss representative still. Well, we do have one probe up the right-hand side from Classic, so a little bit of an interesting pathway there. I think he's just checking for proxies. Don't think he's looking to do anything too crazy himself. The racks and gateway finish up on both sides, so we can start seeing the build orders truly develop here in game number 4 of our semi-final. Yeah, it was an interesting game because Classic, despite kind of not really doing enough, I feel like, with the Stalkers, actually stuck around with the Stalkers for a long time. And it just felt like when the Protoss does that, there's meant to be a point where the Terran's like, cool, got my upgrades, let's go. Let's get something done. And that just never really came about. And when he did get on the map, it suddenly Classic was engaging in from all sides. Let's see our Twilight Stalker coming up. Right, coming in, refinery and the factory coming up as well. Depth kind of boosting about, Cybercore getting the warp gate coming through. The Twilight Council is about halfway done here. A couple of probes coming through from Classic as well. We continue to get that on the go for the moment. Marines and the Widow Mine is going to come to the front. Widow Mine will burrow, and the Marines will just stand on it to just try and disguise a little bit, but doesn't really make much difference when it's a ramp. As the Stalker walks up, the Adept can try an Adept Shade trick. That was not the correct timing though from Classic, and he loses the Adept now. The Marines put some damage onto that Stalker, able to put it down below shield level. Some work done there. That will be permanent damage at least. Classic presses up 2 Stalkers, new Widow Mine. It's going to be there, and that really stops the Stalkers from pushing further up, because at this point, you don't really want to send it with the Stalkers, right? You don't really want to go any further than this. You kind of know already, like, this is it, right? This is my level, this is as far as I go. You don't want to give up a Stalker into a Widow Mine. That just does not seem like a good deal, that does not seem like a good trade. And at the slightest. Medevac coming across, Widow Mine coming through. Widow Mine will burrow up, and just going to be seeing ourselves the Medevac getting around here. Stalker's coming across, Medevac just going to get pushed away. One gets cleaned up, but nice to have a shot on that Prism, because as Classic sets up with 4 gates of Stalkers, that Prism is the sort of thing you'd look to actually just be able to get rid of, and now it's going to be so much easier. Widow Mine gets burrowed up, another probe gets targeted down. Stalkers will kill the Widow Mine though with the Observer nearby, and that defense will be made. They're going to lose the Medevac. He's going to get a Stalker. Classic doesn't micro, he's going to get another Stalker. And Classic's just focused over here as the Marine's going to come down and try and defend this. And a little bit chaotic because these Marines are now killing probes on the other side. This has gone horrendously wrong for Classic. He prioritized the wrong things at the wrong times there. Now he recalls home, but the army's being cleaned up. Oh, there's a Banshee in the natural. I see, okay. Well, this was bad. This was just bad all around as Classic is now caught out of position, having a recall. This actually works beautifully for ByuN, and that's going to be why it goes to 2-2. And a game 5 on the horizon for us as our semi-finals both deliver a game 5. Final map of this Classic versus ByuN series. In the top left-hand corner, this is going to be the blue Protoss player. We have Classic. All just kind of fell apart for him in that game number 4. As in the bottom right, our red Terran is ByuN. Let me bring this back. So game 5, as we get this started up with aggression. Classic out in the middle of the map with a pylon here to begin with, and a gateway, and ByuN is building a forward barracks as well, by the way, so this gets a little awkward very quickly. Wow, second gate from Classic. Talk about switching it up for a 5th game. The aggression is going to come flying through here for our Protoss player on Amphion. ByuN, double gassed. He will have a faster factory, will not expand straight away with that barracks on the map. But yeah, this is going to get to be a little bit of a messy one very early in the series, or in the series finale. Kind of excited, actually. This is going to be kind of wild. Pro gets all the way back home, and Probe goes back. CV is going to 1 to 4 as the first 2 zealots are being made already. Bringing that straight through. Well, the zealots just going to gather in the center by those gateways, get that underway. Get that set up. Ripper is going to find the probe. Probe will go down pretty much immediately. Just going to get rid of that. Ripper continues to fire a few of those probes, taking some shots. There's going to be a probe going down. Well, it's nice to get 2 probes, but of course the question is going to be, what can we do on the other side with those gateway units of Classic? Obviously kind of weird because he has no unit back at home unless he sends something back. Bunker now here from ByuN. Cyclone on the way. This is looking incredible for ByuN right now. This build order is definitely not working in Classic's favor. Now, Reaper is not doing a lot of damage, but it's doing some damage. And at the same time, we actually have the Reaper of ByuN starting to pull back. Problem is, he actually needs some DPS here. Otherwise, Reaper goes down. Otherwise, yeah, it would be best to leave it across the map. Otherwise, the depot goes down, the units get in. I'm saying 100 things at once. A shame to bring the Reaper home, only for it to die on the way back towards the bunker. Also a shame to obviously see a situation here where Classic was so close to breaking in, doesn't quite make it. This is still 1 base from both players. A little bit more committed from Classic. 2 gateways on the map, also can't relocate back home at any point, so that's something to keep in mind. At some stage, if ByuN gets onto the map, he will take out those gateways where his barracks can obviously fly back in. The beautiful benefits of being a Terran player. He's had SCVs off the line to keep the repair up on the wall off, as this new Reaper that build actually will go across the map, kills another probe, and more importantly, in general, is just camping out that natural location, so just trying to do that as best we can. Hops back down from the main base, so back over here we go. Stalker gonna fire, Reaper gonna take a few shots. Reaper super low as the Stalker. Would love to get it. What a great grenade. I think it's actually good enough to get the Reaper out alive. Wow. Okay, 2 more Stalkers coming back, but hey, if you lose the Reaper to the 2 Stalkers that came home, you're kind of fine with that as the Reaper comes back around the top. Phoenix building on the Stargate. Stalker gets that Reaper. Reaper will go down. A couple of extra barracks coming through. The React Command Center coming up. Siege Tank going to move down to the low ground as well as the 2 Cyclones and the Reaper gathering in on the front of the natural. More Stalkers opening from Classic as we get ready to push to the front. CC is going to be dropping down there in a couple of moments. that onto the natural here as our Nexus, our probe, production continuing up, obviously trying to get that next second base up and online on the side of Classic. That's one thing he's not really being quick at doing, as the Phoenix can lift up the tank. Some target fire to try and take that Phoenix out, but the tank goes down. Phoenix will go down, but this is a lot of Stalkers that can continue to control this area. Fortunately, a new siege tank is ready. ByuN gets that set up. If USV is going down this time, the Phoenix will drop a lot more quickly. The new Phoenix dies instantly, pretty much. Stalker's firing. Just going to be seeing the orbital command taking a few more shots. Cyclone locks on again. Run, Cyclone, run. Siege tank continue to fire. 2 Stalkers going down. I don't think this is good enough at all from Classic. You can't lose! No! Why are we fighting the orbital? Hitting the orbital to lose another Stalker. Very nearly an extra one as well. Classic bleeding out units, and ByuN looking amazing here now. 6 minutes into Amphion, this game 5 is starting to trend towards the Terran player. It's starting to look like it might be his. Marines are there. Phoenix gets turned around. More Marines are going to fire up. And we've seen the second siege tank sieging there against Impact Combat +1. All of that continues to come through. Those upgrades so important. Marines is going to sit there. A couple tanks are going to be coming over. Marines and a Cyclone coming down this ramp. A few Stalkers is going to be out there. Go back and forth. Still got the stim pack and the combat shield finishing soon as the missile turret hits the Oracle for a moment or so. A little bit of damage being done on that. Cyclone locking on again, pushing the Oracle further away too. Phoenix and Oracle still joining back up together. First one attack, combat shields, concussive shells, all of that continues through. They extend Thermal Lance and Colossus. Be on the way up as well as our Cyclone puts a bit more damage onto the Phoenix. Well, Phoenix and the Oracle just going to come through. A little revelation coming down. Bio loads up, obviously +1 is done here. We do see Classic on his way to Colossus, so going to be utilizing that tech as best as possible. Great Phoenix, Oracle, moving about still. You have the 2 gateways on the right side. Classic going to try and take that 3 o'clock base. I kind of love it as like a, I'm hella behind, so let's just try and do something crazy. This is unfortunate though, because these medevacs just slipped around the back and the Phoenix just completely missed them. And Classic just doesn't see it, so the stim in is going to be very deadly. Pulls the pros very quickly once it's noted, but the battery goes down. ByuN going to depower the Robo Bay. Actually worth depowering because it slows extended thermal lance by a little bit. Now the Phoenix going to catch the medevacs. Okay, this wasn't too crazy for ByuN. Okay, actually gets a lot of Marines out. Oh my goodness, we actually kill a Phoenix, an Oracle. I thought this was going to be a lot of units just dying freely in the end, but no, he actually got value out of it. Got a lot more unloaded than expected. Classic. Again, playing that crazy kind of 3 o'clock location. Not much else to be doing right now. Bio tank gathering in the center. A few more Phoenix coming around the left. I see another Nexus going down, so get that third base in position. Beacon on the way from Classic. If he ever gets comfortable, he does like to slow the game down a lot. And the right side base gone, by the way. So he does like to slow the game down a lot and just try to get to carriers. Just going to try and get toward that as an idea. I just don't know if we survive that long. ByuN should be trying to decide what to do. And just going to be seeing how it goes to Academy coming up. Tank and a few Marauders coming through too. I was going to get to the center. Knocks down those two gateways that were there from earlier. That's half of the gateway production of Classic just getting destroyed here. So big win for ByuN as well. Again, that commitment to those gates in the middle of the map going to be problematic. He's coming through, a couple of SCVs getting knocked down. 6 workers falling. Vikings firing back, a couple of Phoenix getting shut down. Seven SCVs dropping. What's up, hello Zerg? How you doing, mate? Thank you so much for the 89-month resub. Welcome back. As ByuN now starting to push a bit more seriously across the map. Things will be sieging up Bio force gathering together. A couple Tempests coming up as our Bio starts to push through. Vikings can chase back those Phoenix, putting some damage in. And the opportunity to start shoving up to the high ground here. And we're trying to get to those Tempests, trying to get to them Stargate units, but at this point ByuN can establish a fourth base behind this as well, and should absolutely be trying to do that. As our Bio moves upwards, we do have the Phoenix coming in from the back. And we've seen the Tempest still pulling away once again. Just going to be seeing the rest of this Bio trying to stem up this Ram. Phoenix getting EMP'd across the board, and the Bio army still trying to chase. Is that a bad chase in? I feel like it probably was, although we killed the Nexus. I felt like he was about to kill a bunch of units and he just never really finished anything off. The Phoenix being EMP'd was one thing, but there's no damage to really kind of put, you know, the kills on them in the end. Obviously, the natural going down is a big issue, and it was one of Classic's 3 bases. Like, killing the natural, like, at this point sometimes means, okay, well, you still have a 4th base as well, but this game obviously never got to that point. Tempests. And a few more shots off. Tank's still taking some shots. Not going to see in the end. ByuN is going to get pushed away. Those Tempests able to kill off the tank. Phoenix and the Tempest coming out. 2 more Tempests in production. Our Robo facility building through. Ghost going down. Another siege tank. Make that another one. This is just getting worse and worse and worse. As our Marine stem forward, going to try and get and will get a Tempest. Just now going to find themselves a few more SCVs as well. I mean, this game is one of those ones that I felt as though ByuN was kind of has kind of sealed the deal kind of earlier, but obviously he didn't really seal the deal. He put himself in a great position. I'm just waiting for him to put the final touches to it, but he actually has a lack of air units right now, which makes dealing with the Tempest a little bit of a problem. And so Classic can stay in this for just a little bit longer here than you might have expected him to. Set of rocks will go down. Tempest still pushing up. The tanks are going to pull further away. Marine's going to come stemming forwards. Tempest taking a lot of damage. First Tempest drops. Second Tempest getting chased. One more Marine. Two more Marines going down as well. Siege tank taking some shots here. Reaching the 15-minute mark here now is ByuN, like I said, just struggling with the Tempests. Problem is, if you're getting kept back by the Tempest, the Colossus can do a lot. The thing is, there's nothing else on the ground apart from Colossus, so your Marauders should absolutely shred those. Problem is, there's nothing other than Marauders really in this army. Three coming online from ByuN. More probes getting knocked down. ByuN into the main base. Gonna go through and pick off a forge. The forge will go down. Robo facility might be in some trouble as well. These Phoenix are still coming by. She's chasing down the medevacs. As ByuN makes a dive through there, that kind of gets just cleaned up. I mean, I just can't really believe that ByuN hasn't massed Vikings yet as he gets this left side base. He EMPs it to stop a recall. I mean, he's building a third starport, so surely it's just a matter of time, but he's actually not super rich either. He's actually a little bit gas starved, so... And only 64 SCVs could have been a whole lot more as well before now, or by now. Pretty crazy situation, to be honest. As our unit's still on the left-hand side, gathering up. 3-3 coming through, more Marines coming out. Starport about to finish, refineries are coming by as well. ByuN has had a bad time trying to close this out. As his supply is still good, but the position from the Tempest, etc. can be very frustrating. Two fresh medevacs getting picked off. ByuN is going to go and threaten the counterattack. Base trade actually would not be terrible for ByuN. He might just be able to base trade with a portion of the army. Might not need everything. 4 medevacs of units going across. This is still so Phoenix heavy. As the recall actually goes off this time. Well, a couple of EMPs, we try and stand and fight. One Colossus goes down. There's just so many Colossus now. The Phoenix will come in and clean up as well. And ByuN's going to take another loss on his army. He just can't clean up this force for some reason. I mean, he's making it more complicated than it needs to be. If he just pushed up that ramp with like everything, or like dropped the left with a couple medevacs while pushing up that ramp, I just don't see how you hold this classic. There's not enough on the ground to stop the army just overwhelming the Colossus and killing those off. It's having a rough time trying to play cleanup, as now the Phoenix are going to push around the right side, and the supplies are going to be closer than they've been for pretty much the entire game at this stage. Obviously no anti-air there at all. Even obviously with this being so Phoenix heavy, a couple of turrets might be worth it. Obviously they are the... Well, this is actually interesting because now the Phoenix are out of position, so the Vikings are just going to get a cross-fight. The Tempest on their own. It's a pretty great starting point. The Phoenix will clean up the Vikings, yes, but the Tempest gone do get rid of a lot of the issues that ByuN has been facing, which is just the range that this army has had. With the range of the Tempest, it's been a little bit of a struggle to really get into good positions all of the time, so that's definitely been something of a factor. It's definitely one more thing to be considering. Marines get across, Phoenix taking damage. Phoenix around the left, still got ourselves a couple of Tempests coming through, plus 3 air weapons coming up as well. Still coming about. We're actually going to get rid of a medevac already. The missile turret's going to fire away. It's just these Phoenix that are creating such an issue right now. EMP trying to catch the edge of them to slow them down a little bit, to clean them up a little as well, but even that doesn't go very far quite yet. Coming over, Nexus in the pylon. Coming through, another Viking volley coming now. We're actually replacing those Tempests that ByuN cleaned up previously. Rid of that observer. Bio still unloading in the center. +1 ship weapons. 6 more Vikings still coming up as well. Cannons, the pylon on that left-hand side setting. We do actually have this Bioforce coming up here, so Nexus will go down. I think this is what just ByuN needed. Maybe get the army to the left-hand side, because the army of Classic, you don't want to go running into it, but the army here was always able to hold the ramp when he had the bigger pushes coming this way. Now he breaks down that natural again. These Marine Phoenix, be careful of the high Marine count. Marauder's picking away at a cannon. We do see the Colossus showing up, and then obviously the Marines have to go scarpering backwards. Classic is still slowly bleeding out of this game. It's just taking a little while to truly get there. I do think ByuN could have made this a lot easier on himself. I think some of the moves have not been necessarily the best he could have made. And we've also had the, as the Colossus goes down, the Tempest goes down. We also have the situation where you could argue maybe ByuN could have afforded something extra. Like, I mean, Ghost Bio kind of got the job done. Was it the easiest way to get the job done? Not necessarily. GG's. And that is going to be ByuN taking Game 5 of the best of 5 and moving to the finals to give us